Welcome to WorldWire. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Canada is rethinking its commitment to the American F-35 fighter jet, a decision that has been in the works for years. Now the Swedish Gripen E is being considered as a serious alternative, bringing a new dimension to the debate. What began as a straightforward plan to modernize the Royal Canadian Air Force has become a complex debate about national sovereignty, industrial benefits, and international alliances. Suffer dakanam, suffer danchan kans 35 suffer buffer dime. The deal, once a symbol of Canada's strong partnership with the U.S., now faces intense scrutiny over its escalating costs and practical challenges. Prime Minister Mark Carney's government has paused the full purchase, citing mounting issues such as budget overruns and technical problems. The Gripen, once merely a runner-up in the selection process, is now seen as a practical fit for Canada's vast Arctic regions and unique defense needs. This decision isn't just about choosing the right aircraft, it's about Canada's evolving identity and its desire for greater independence in defense and industry. The choice between the F-35 and Gripen could redefine Canada's relationship with the U.S. and reshape its Air Force capabilities for decades to come. As Ottawa carefully weighs its options, the world is watching closely to see which path Canada will ultimately choose, a decision that will have far-reaching implications. Canada's ambitious plan to purchase 88 F-35 fighter jets was originally envisioned as a bold step to secure its vast northern skies and modernize its Air Force for the 21st century. The deal was also meant to strengthen Canada's military alignment with the United States, reinforcing a decades-old partnership. But as the years have passed, reality has set in, and the dream has become far more complicated. Projected costs have ballooned from $19 billion to nearly $28 billion in just 2 years, straining government budgets and raising tough questions about priorities. Meanwhile, critical infrastructure upgrades needed to support the jets have been pushed back until at least 2031, leaving bases unprepared for their arrival. The F-35's much-touted Block 4 software, essential for full combat capability, is now a decade behind schedule, causing further delays and uncertainty. Even more concerning, less than 30% of the jets currently in service, worldwide, are considered combat-ready, raising doubts about their reliability. A recent crash in Alaska has only heightened anxieties, and ongoing technical issues continue to shake confidence in the program's safety and effectiveness. Diplomatic tensions with the U.S. have grown as frustrations mount on both sides of the border, especially with renewed trade threats from Washington, adding another layer of complexity to the already fraught relationship. American officials have warned that any change to Canada's F-35 order could undermine NORAD's joint defense capabilities, putting pressure on Ottawa to stay the course. Yet, this external pressure has only strengthened Ottawa's resolve to defend its own interests and reconsider its options. For many Canadians, the F-35 now appears less like a strategic asset and more like a costly financial burden, with taxpayers left to foot the bill. The government faces mounting pressure from the public and opposition parties to find a more sustainable, transparent solution for Canada's defense needs. What was once a promise of seamless alliance and cutting-edge technology now comes with too many strings attached, leaving Canada at a crossroads over its military future. As doubts about the F-35 mount, Sweden's Saab Gripen E has become a compelling alternative. The Gripen is cheaper to buy and operate, less than half the cost of the F-35, making it ideal for Canada's vast territory and tight budgets. It boasts armed supercruise, advanced sensors, and the Meteor missile, giving it an edge in Arctic defense. Saab promises Canadian assembly and technology transfer, creating thousands of jobs and boosting local industry. Unlike the F-35, the Gripen is rugged, easy to maintain, and can operate from remote runways with minimal support. Its low-maintenance design is perfect for Canada's harsh north, where infrastructure is limited. The Gripen offers not just a capable jet, but a direct investment in Canada's economy and sovereignty. For many, it's the practical, resilient choice for defending Canadian airspace. The fighter jet debate has escalated into a high-stakes political standoff between Ottawa and Washington, with both sides digging in their heels. What began as a procurement decision has now become a test of national priorities and international alliances. The U.S. warns that abandoning the F-35 threatens NORAD's interoperability and North American security, arguing that seamless coordination is vital for defending the continent. American officials stressed that the F-35 is the backbone of Allied air power and any deviation could weaken joint operations. But Canada's government, led by Industry Minister Melanie Joly, is pushing back harder than ever, demanding real industrial benefits for Canadian workers and a reduced dependence on the U.S. for critical defense technology. Ottawa insists that Canadian taxpayers deserve a fair return on such a massive investment. Joly has even threatened to cut the F-35 order and supplement the fleet with Canadian-built Gripens if Lockheed Martin doesn't deliver on its promises. This bold stance signals a willingness to chart a new course, even if it means breaking with tradition. The resurgence of America First politics in Washington has made Ottawa increasingly wary of relying solely on the U.S. for its defense needs. Canadian officials remember past trade disputes and shifting U.S. priorities, fueling their determination to diversify. In response, Canada is forging new partnerships, signing landmark defense and trade deals with the European Union and Sweden in 2025. These agreements open doors to new suppliers, technologies, and strategic allies. The Canada-Sweden agreement in particular prioritizes Arctic security and advanced technology sharing, making a Gripen purchase not only possible but practical. This move strengthens Canada's hand in negotiations and addresses unique northern defense challenges. By aligning with Sweden, Canada gains valuable leverage and demonstrates to Washington and the world that it has credible alternatives to the F-35 and is willing to pursue them if necessary. This isn't just about jets. It's about asserting Canadian sovereignty, strengthening the nation's industrial base, and diversifying alliances to ensure long-term security and independence. Ottawa's resolve signals a new era in Canadian defense policy, one that is more assertive, strategic, and focused on national interests. The U.S. can no longer assume Canada will simply follow its lead. Ottawa is making it clear, Canada's future in defense will be decided in Canada, on Canadian terms. Should Canada operate only F-35s, or a mix of F-35s and Gripens? Military leaders warn that a mixed fleet means higher costs and complexity. They argue that two types of jets require separate training, maintenance, and logistics, risking inefficiency. Proponents of a single fleet say it ensures maximum interoperability with the U.S. and simplifies operations, but supporters of a mixed fleet like Minister Joly point out that other G7 nations manage mixed fleets successfully. A high-low mix, using Gripens for routine patrols and F-35s for high-threat missions, could save money and boost readiness. This approach would let Canada maintain a larger, more flexible force within its budget. For many, the mixed fleet offers strategic flexibility and economic sense. Canada's fighter jet saga is a story of delays, rising costs, and shifting priorities. The initial order for 16 F-35s in 2023 signaled hesitation, with the rest left as options. By 2024, ballooning costs and late deliveries fueled doubts, and a formal review opened the door to alternatives. A 2025 F-35 crash and ongoing technical issues pushed the government to pause the full purchase. New defense and trade deals with the EU and Sweden signaled a strategic pivot away from exclusive U.S. reliance. The Canada-Sweden partnership focused on Arctic security and industry made the Gripen a leading contender. The timeline reveals a steady erosion of faith in the F-35 and a growing appetite for change. Canada is now closer than ever to a major shift in its defense strategy. Canada stands at a crossroads. Its fighter jet decision will shape its military and global role for decades. Choosing Gripen or a mixed fleet would be a bold assertion of sovereignty and a move toward a more independent foreign policy. This could strain ties with the U.S., but strengthen partnerships with Sweden and the EU. For the Royal Canadian Air Force, the choice is between a costly, high-tech F-35 fleet or a balanced, flexible mix. The outcome will define Canada's ability to defend its Arctic and project its values abroad. Ultimately, this is about more than jets. It's about what kind of country Canada wants to be. Will it remain a junior partner in an American-led order, or chart a more independent course? As Ottawa prepares its final decision, the world is watching Canada's next move.